another exciting episode on Area 52. This is going to be part 2 today of building the winch bumper for Project Mouse Motel behind me here. So in the last video, I really didn't do much, but I did a lot all at the same time. As you can see, the winch plate is on the frame plates and it's tack welded in place. Now this is a good starting point for me, and I'm really happy with how well it turned out. As I said in the last video, this is an old vehicle. Things aren't necessarily straight on it, and I got that winch plate to line up really nice, and it's exactly where I wanted it. So now what we have to do is go ahead and build the rest of the bumper around that winch plate and finish everything up. So I'm going to do everything I can on the Jeep, then pull everything off, finish weld it in place, and then finish the bumper, paint it, mount it to the Jeep for the final time. So what I've done in the meantime is I started making these cardboard cutouts. Now this doesn't look like much, but what it is the right side back plate on the bumper. So it'll go somewhere like over here. About like this. As you'll notice across the bottom here, we have a little bit of a slope going down to the bottom part of the bumper, and then we have the notch cut out where we come up from beside the winch plate and go up toward the headlights. So if you've never done this before, using cardboard is your best friend. You're not necessarily going to use it to trace out onto the metal. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I typically just get my measurements, mock it up in cardboard, and then transfer that over to metal using a speed square and measuring devices to mark everything out. But the cardboard helps you visualize a lot. So if you're new to this, never done it before, I mean, I've never done a bumper before, but I've done similar sheet metal projects before, and this is the best way that I've come up with to do it. So let's get started. First things first, we're going to have to make some measurements onto my mild steel, and then we'll be able to cut it out and hopefully get it tacked to the Jeep. The only thing is though, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to hold the parts up to the bumper and weld them at the same time. It would be difficult enough with two hands, but with one hand, I think I'm going to have to get creative to make sure everything stays aligned properly long enough for me to tack it in place. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and used my cardboard template and traced out what I needed to cut, and I verified my measurements to make sure that everything was right by the cardboard, and I'm actually ready now to go ahead and start cutting with the plasma cutter. My only regret though is that I should have shifted this all the way down here to start with. The big reason being so I don't waste material, but maybe this little section here I'll be able to use for something else later. Well, today was an epic waste of time. I made my first cut, everything looked good, and the plasma cutter torch fell off, hit the garage floor, and busted the ceramic cup. And I don't have any spares, so that's where we're at today. 1, 2, and 3/8 inch cut, and I'm all done. It's going to be a while before I can get back at this project, which you'll see in this episode. It'll be like 5 seconds for you. But pretty frustrated. I wish I would have hung my plasma torch in an appropriate area so that wouldn't happen, but live and learn. Boom! New ceramic cup for the plasma cutter. I broke it on a Saturday. Jegs had the new one here by Tuesday. We're back up and ready to cut. Enjoy some time lapse. All right, now that I've got those two pieces cut out, I can go ahead and get them clamped in place and welded up onto Mouse Motel. But first I gotta take off a little, what used to be a fog light bracket down here on the driver's side. No big deal, so I'll pop that off real quick. The next challenge for me is going to be figuring out how I can hold these pieces in the correct place and the correct alignment and tack them in place at the same time. I don't have any big right angle magnets that could hold these pieces in place. They're kind of heavy, probably good 15-20 pounds a piece. So I'm not even sure if your standard right angle magnet would be able to hold it in the first place. So I'm going to have to come up with something kind of tricky to make this all work out. clamped in place where I think I like it. However, I got it clamped just in the perfect spot and then realized that I've got some grinding to do, clean up some surfaces before I can actually tack this thing in place. So I got to take it back off, but I feel pretty confident that I'll be able to get it lined back up as it is here now that I have a good idea of what I want to do. It's a little late now, but I thought I'd see how square it is. It's actually pretty darn square. This end could go back toward the Jeep just a little bit, but I also kind of wanted it to be straight with the winch plate here. So I'll take it. I like it how it is. Man, those tacks are rigid as all get out too. Of course, this one's more of a weld than it is a tack. I got a little bit on the carried away side. Did a downhill vertical on it because it's not going to be a real structural point, so I'm not too worried about doing it right necessarily. I just want it held together. So I guess now we'll switch to the other side. But first I'm going to stand back and admire my work. Just look at it and make sure I like it. If you guys could see it or not, but the plastic header panel back behind here just caught fire, just a wee little bit. Probably should have put something behind it, but I noticed it in time to blow it out. No big deal. But I did char my new turn signal just a touch. Doesn't look like it went through, so thank goodness for that. But the big news. I've got 2 more pieces attached to my winch bumper now, so I'm pretty excited about that. About time to move on to the next part of this project. So I think what I'm going to do is put some weld along the top side of this and grind it out a little bit until they look a little bit more even. Again, you know, this bumper is on this Jeep, but I also don't want it to look like crap. Like, I want it to look halfway decent, so that when people say, well, who made your bumper? I can say, I did. And they say, wow, it looks like you took your time and you did a good job on it. So I'm probably going to try to church this up a little bit. The other thing I could do is grind this section of it a little lower, so that way when I lay the piece across the top, I can make the adjustment at that point too. So I'm going to think about that for a second. So I'm at the Subaru car meet at Tomwood Subaru in Indy with Trevor, where we got the camo lifted Subaru, and as it turns out, they cater White Castle. Pretty cool. I'd come back.
I'm not bending your traction. Here's AJ. Yes! Oh god.
Oh yeah, you got this.
Little sketch. Go ahead! Oh. Ah, tire's starting to thin up. Maybe pull the log out. Just to pull the log. I don't know if it's climbed straight up with the tire onto that.
You can try it. Now go forward.
Yeah. What if we, here, can you back up a touch? What if we put the log right in between?
Get your other spare
Oh,
tire out.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Use that log to prop up your spare tire.
Just
Hang on, what if we back up a touch?
well, if it's like that, it may roll that log. But if you move the big log back further and then stand that one up on its end in
Put
between.
the tire on the log and use it as a ramp.
Brilliant. Brilliant! Back up.
I don't know how well it's going to work.
It's gonna work great. This is gonna be easy. No.
That is not a good idea.
No, that'll flip up under the car and all the
Oh, there you go.
Oh, he's onto something. Or
Maybe.
beat your tire. That's the one.
My grandpa was a tire shop.
I don't think this is gonna work. I think the tire's gonna flip up. Come on.
All right, send it.
It's just a spare. Don't put it on there.
Alright. Alright. Nope. Oh, maybe. Keep trying. Give her a little bit.
Oh, you
Now
are.
it's up to you.
It's make or break.
Just leave it there. That looks cool
That
enough.
looks super cool.
That looks cool enough. Just leave it.
No, we
Nope.
need to go for
Go for gold. You got it.
No, it's just going to fall down the other side if he goes
Or it'll
forward
catch
anymore.
and be fine.
I
Won't catch.
I was going to say, or it won't catch and it won't be fine.
give it a little more. Just keep going.
Yep.
Oh, you're
Nope. Leave it.
all right.
Your front right tire's coming up off the ground.
Is that?
Yeah.
Back up. We can engineer a
Whoa,
better
right there.
way.
Leave it.
Forward a little bit. Forward a little bit.
You can hide the big log. There.
Park, e-brake.
Dial.
All right, everybody, so that's where I'm gonna end this one off today. I think I got enough footage for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. Let me know what you think of the whole deal. Don't worry, I've got another part coming up. Well, actually, I'm filming it right now and I'm filming the outro today. So I'm gonna be working on this some more. You'll see more work being done in the next video. We'll be putting on the side pieces over here. Hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more. We'll catch you in the next video.